This video is designed to help you set up your Google Calendar as well as making sure you can get the most out of managing it. Right, let's start with settings. First thing you want to do is change the language to English UK, change the date format, and have the starting day as Monday. Save those changes. Right, the next thing we want to do is reduce the amount of scroll that we have here, because most of the things that you put in your calendar obviously are going to end up between the hours of 8 and 5 or something to that extent. So we'll go to Settings, Labs. Top one there, hide morning and night. Click Enable, Save. So now I have no scroll in my calendar. I can drag up and down to where I want my day to start. Right, the next thing we're going to look at is calendar filtering. Right now all my calendars are turned off. If I click the square here that's not coloured, it'll turn my calendar on. What you see there is the day I'm on highlighted here in grey, or shaded in grey, with the red line telling me where we are in the day. Events that have already passed are a paled out colour. Events that are currently happening or are to come are in the bold colour. So I can turn my calendar on and off, or filter my calendar on and off by clicking that button. Now, when calendars are shared with you, they come into the Other Calendars section. So all our school calendars I have here, if I turn them all on, it brings all the calendars up. And if I cycle through a couple of weeks, you get a feel for what's happening in the school currently. Now, when I'm viewing these calendars, I can view by day, by week, by month, there's a 4-day option, or by agenda. The agenda is quite a good way to get an overview of your days within the week that's upcoming. Remembering the ability to filter, if you just need to look at one calendar in particular, you can filter the other ones off. I can quickly identify all the meetings we have within our school this week by doing that. The next thing we're going to look at is adding an event. To add an event, simply click in the area you want it to be added to. And let's say I've got a meeting. If the time I've clicked on is right, it's important to choose the right calendar I want to put that into. You'll have the options of calendars that you have available to edit. And if you're happy with that, you click Create Event. At any time you can modify that event by clicking on it and hitting Edit Event. If this is a meeting that's going to take place on a weekly basis, there's no need to enter that a number of times individually. By clicking on Repeat, I've got different options here that I can repeat it weekly, monthly, every day, so on and so forth. Now, if I've got a meeting that takes place, let's say twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I can do that. If it's just a Thursday, we'll leave it there, and it's going to happen all term. Got 8 weeks left this term, so I'm telling the calendar to repeat that meeting for 8 occurrences, after which point I want it to stop. Done. If I go have a look at that, if I cycle through my calendar, you'll see that meeting appear at that same slot for 8 occurrences, after which point it stops. I also have the ability to invite people to meetings. If I click on that meeting, Edit Event, if I come over here to add guests, I can add people by email. Then when I click Save, it'll send them an invitation to join that meeting. That'll come up as an email to them, at which point they'll have the option to accept or not accept. By accepting, it'll send me a return email to tell me they've accepted, as well as enter it into their Google Calendar. Now when I go into that meeting I've set up, it has all the information I put into that event. It's in my office, and it's with Boldor and Hamish and myself. If I'm not happy with that or I need to change it, again I can click Edit. If I decide that meeting is not going to happen, I can click Delete. And I have these options here: delete and update guests, delete without updating guests, don't delete. So obviously in this situation I'm going to delete and update the guests. Right, the last thing we're going to look at is moving appointments. When you click into an appointment, you have the option, as we've already talked about, to edit event, or simply you can just drag and drop that and put that where you like. It's easy to have more than one calendar. Simply by clicking on over here by My Calendars, I can click Create New Calendar. For the purpose of this, I'm going to make a personal calendar, create calendar. Okay. Now with this calendar, if I don't like the colour that's going to show as, I can change it to any of the colours that are there. Let's make this one light blue. Now I might put down here barbecue. Now change the calendar, really key step, map personal, create event. Now with that calendar, I can share that with one or more people. By clicking on the down arrow by map personal, click share this calendar, and I'll add my wife to this calendar, and then I can change the level of access to see all events, make changes to events, or make changes and manage sharing. If I decide I no longer need a calendar, again click the down arrow, go to calendar settings. Down the bottom of this page is the option to permanently delete this calendar. Click yes. So there's no problem creating calendars and then deciding, actually no, I don't need that calendar, because you've always got the option to delete it. That concludes this video on setting up and managing Google Calendars.